Let's get this rolling so we can get home, huh?
Oh, good. Man, we're gonna make it do it. Dope.
There you go, man. All right, now we over here live, man, with it's your boy Easy, Wrap It Up Radio. Spread the brand. We're powered by Spread the Brand. My boy Dion. We're here with live with K Reno, the Wizard. And we just got a few questions, man. You know, getting to let people. You know, I know people know who you are and you know all that good stuff, man. But you know, you're a legend in the hood, man. You know what I'm saying? I grew up to your music. He grew up. You know, a lot of people grew up with your stuff, man. It's just, you know, it's just fulfilling stuff for us, man.
Man, it's an honor to be here with y'all, man. I mean, just the love and support, it never gets old. So I appreciate y'all. You know, y'all always been rocking with your brother. So it means a lot, man.
Yes, sir.
Y'all call them coming.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. So what first got you into rapping?
Man, listening to the old schoolers that I grew up on, listening to Sugar Hill Gang, Curtis Blow, and Grandmaster Flash, and Melly Mel, and all the way up to Run DMC and all that. So that was my early taste of it. And, you know, it took me about 3 or 4 years before I tried to do it myself. So around 83, I was like, you know, I'm gonna try to write me one. Wrote me one, and I ain't stopped since, man.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
So you've just been rocking with it, huh?
Yeah, man, yeah. 40-something years, bro. 40-something years.
Going strong.
Yeah.
No time for retirement, huh?
No. That's a bad word. That's like a cuss word, yeah. I hate when rappers talking about retiring and quitting and all that. Like, for what? You know, if you were born to do this and God gave you a gift to do it, then why would you quit? And I understand that a lot of what makes people quit is the business side. They get so discouraged because of how the business treated them, but that don't have nothing to do with the art and how you love the art. And if you take control of your business side, then you don't have to worry about that. You take control of that and you gain ownership over that, and you don't have to worry about somebody else imposing their will on you like that. Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
I have a quick question, man. How did you form the Southpaw Coalition?
Man, I was in the 11th grade, bro.
What year was that?
87, 1987. And I had a group of guys that just went to school with me. Probably, it might have been about 7 or 8 of us at the most. And we just clicked up every day, rapping, battling, doing all that different stuff. But we didn't have any type of organized or consolidated group or no name. So I was like, man, you know, we could just call ourselves something. Because it wasn't like we was a rap group. It was different artists and a couple of groups mixed in there. So I was like, man, we need like a formal name. So I knew it was gonna have something with South Park in it because all of us was from there. But you know, I saw the word coalition in this book, and I got a song about it where I talk about. I was looking through my English book or one of the books, and I was like, I like that. When I found out what it meant, I said we're gonna be the South Park Coalition, and that's what it's been ever since, man.
That's awesome.
Who were the first members?
Man, you gotta talk. We talk about myself. We talk about GT and Preppy J. These were guys I was in a group with in the early 80s, mid 80s. Rapper K, Easy T, C Rock, DBX. Those are the names that come to mind immediately when I think about the original Southpaw Coalition members, with others that was kind of hanging around but might not even been rappers that were still hanging around. So yeah, but those names I mentioned were probably the first members of the clique. Yeah.
All right. And some of them still rock with you, or?
Yeah, definitely Rapper K, man. Rapper K still active. We always doing stuff, doing shows together. My homie Easy T, he ended up changing his name a few times. He had a couple of albums out under the name Blow Up, BLOA, and of course GT and Preppy J. We actually had a group called Real Chill. We put an album out in '87, put a record out in '87. And they don't do it any much more. GT is more doing the poetry side and the audio visual. But yeah, you know, it's a couple of guys still hung on, man. You know?
Yeah. That's good, man. It's always good to rock with people from the day, you know what I'm saying? Because you already know how y'all gonna do your stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, every group, every artist, every clique has origins in it. And even if people who was there at the beginning didn't stay in it, you know, they are never forgotten. That's why I can run them off right now, you know what I'm saying, to get them their props because, you know, they still repping, we still claiming. Of course, DBX is still active too, you know, that's my brother.
Yeah. I got a story about Rapper K. They say, the word has it, Ever since he had his first car, he always kept a clean Cadillac or a clean car, like a brand new car.
Yeah, I don't think I ever known him to not have a vehicle because he's a couple of years older than me. So when I was in the 9th grade, he was in the 11th grade already. And as far as I can remember, he always had a car. And if you go back to my second album, Danger Zone, that's the album I did dropped in late '95. You'll see Rapper K on the cover, but we stand in front of a maroon Toyota, what is it? Honda Accord. And that was the ride he had then. It was clean in, had music in it then, you know. So you see that car that's on the Dangers on the album cover, that's his car. You know, so he always kept a clean ride.
So it's true then, huh? You kept a clean
Yeah,
ride.
from what I remember, yeah. From what I remember, yeah, no doubt about it.
So that's what's up, man. So what's the moment in your career that changed you the most?
In my career, man, it's hard to say. I can't think of one specific moment, but if I had to just put one out there, it would probably be when I started learning about the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because that shifted my content. Because before that, I was just a rapper just trying to be the dopest MC. You know, that's all I thought it was about. But once I started hearing those teachings and that became like a part of my life or my belief system, I incorporated that into my songs as well. So once you kind of put that into the music, it changes things for you, because for me, now I'm unknowingly still trying to send my music off to record labels to get a record deal, but I'm on songs talking about the machine who I'm trying to sign with.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, no, dude, we're not signing you. You got to get off that, or no, we're not signing you. So once that kind of clicked in my mind, I would say that would probably have been a turning point, because now I really knew now. I was already independent, but I knew now that I was going to always be independent, because I wasn't going to compromise my creative content to appease them.
Right. And so is there something about like rap music that's misunderstood for you, like that you try to get across to people but they really don't understand?
I mean, I would say one of the things that's misunderstood about rap is that it gets blamed for a lot of stuff that's been in place long before it existed. So violence, it's the rap music. Drugs, it's the rap music. And don't get me wrong, we have made big mistakes in contributing to that death culture through our music. We perpetuated it, but it wasn't originated with rappers and with us. So I think that's probably one of the big things that people have a misconception about, people who are not tuned in to rap. And some that are, they still kind of look at rappers like that, like, man, y'all make all this, man. It ain't everybody. It's not everybody.
Some people don't really just need to just take it as in music, as you know, say something. But a lot of people, you're right, man.
Art imitates life in a lot of ways. When rappers were coming out talking about this stuff, it's because that's what rappers were seeing. You know, that's the experience that rappers were living. You go all the way back to Melly Mel on The Message and the stuff he was talking about. You know, he was basically giving a description of how the conditions are in the hood.
It was like a reporter.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but even the ones that would glorify that type of life, that would glorify the killing and the pimping and the whoring and all that, you know, it's not a good thing to do that. But on the same token, it's still something that they're speaking about that was in place before us. Yeah, before the music. So yeah.
Well, I mean, the music's always been there. It's just different. You know, different styles, it evolved, you know what I'm saying? Just like now, today's music evolved. And how do you feel about that? Like, where do you think the music will be in 5 years from now?
Man, we gotta hope it's still something to hold on to, because the ownership of it is not ours on a big scale. You know, these labels, and that's what I was going with the last question. It was like a lot of the stuff that they pretty much blame us for putting out. They put it out.
Right.
You know, they push it. They say we want artists who are gonna talk about this and talk about that. So music in 5 years is really just like anything else, is gonna be based on the condition of us as a people in 5 years. Where are we gonna be?
Going through.
Yeah, what are we gonna be as a society, as a world in 5 years, to hope that we can still be making some music?
Yeah. That's true, man. A lot of people. I mean, we move with John. We move with the times. On everything we do, you know what I'm saying. We have to keep up. You know what I'm saying.
And there's a lot of stuff that's going on that we are not in control of working. Like there's been a lot of talk about how the ports are empty because supplies are not coming to the United States.
You're talking about tariffs, yeah.
Yeah, right, with the tariffs.
Yeah.
And nobody's really locked into that, just on a hood level. We're not thinking about that, but the impact of it is gonna be so great that it's gonna catch everybody off guard.
And I didn't realize that till today because I took a friend of mine. We went to go find some furniture for his house,
Yeah.
and every place we went to, they were talking about, you better get it now because of tariffs. You know, you better get it now because of tariffs. Lock this price. They was trying to get us to lock prices in, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and those are luxuries. Like we talk about furniture and stuff like that. Okay, but when we talk about necessities, when it starts getting down to food and things of that nature, then it's gonna become a problem because it's like, dude, some of these countries that we trade with, because of the tariffs and other situations, they like, man, we not sending nothing out. We're not sending nothing out. And a lot of the things that predominantly come from China and Mexico and Canada and places like that, they're not coming in. So you go to these ports, they empty, the ships are not coming, and we thinking that it's all good, when in reality, it's like, dude,
It's getting shorter and shorter.
in a couple of months, it ain't gonna be no supply. So that would be like if we had, okay, we in a rap group, and let's go back to 10, 15 years ago, we got 1,000 CDs, and we not pressing up no more. It's limited supply. When you start getting down to 200, 150, 80, it's no more coming after that.
But the demand is still high. Like
the demand is still high because people still need food, people still need other essentials and things like that, but there's no supply. So now prices are gonna go up. They're gonna be charging through the roof for the normal thing, the necessities that we have, and unemployment gonna go up. It's not gonna be no job. It's not gonna be because there's nobody there to work something that's not available in supply. So it's about to get messed up out here, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, for real.
So, yeah, and that'll change times for sure. So everything's gonna be in a whole different bracket, man. So
yeah, man.
But yeah, it's crazy out there.
We'll figure out. We gotta get it together, man.
Yeah.
Start stocking up stuff in your house.
And you spoke about the machines. I think that today's and these days of ages, these youngsters are getting out of control as well because they're getting so much money. You know what I'm saying? And they're not even grown, so they're not used to being stable or or having somebody a father figure to them.
They're getting more money than I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Even back
So
in the
they get
day,
money,
people didn't get that
but
much
you have
money.
their influence is so big on the other youngsters.
TikTok
It's not
and
like
stuff that.
we have the kid. We influence. We knew like the struggle. We knew we heard the message. Today's message is different now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what it is that what these powers understand is that giving somebody money, when money precedes knowledge of how to handle and deal with money, then a person can destroy themselves with the money. So a lot of these young brothers and sisters who come up and get a lot of this money, they have not been educated on how to deal with having money. They never had nothing before. So now what happens is you give, it's like giving a newborn, it's like giving a 2-year-old baby a pistol and he playing because he's gonna destroy himself because money gives you access to things that you've never had before. So before the money or alongside with the money, accompanying the money has to come an education that has to come from people who know, hey bro, he just gave you this $1 million and this $500,000. Let me advise you on how to move, what to do with these types of things. Don't take 150 of it and buy a necklace. Don't take 200,000 to get a watch. Something that depreciates. Find a way to make this money work for you, or find a way to make this money be something that your family and generations.
Longevity.
Generational wealth, or just even something in the short term, like if it's as simple as buying some land and learn how to grow some freaking food, whatever the case is, because the things that we value simply because we never had them before, we're gonna realize that they don't have any value at some point. Like we're talking about if America, or when America reaches a point a famine hitting America, what good is that watch gonna do for you now?
Right.
You can't eat it. You gonna eat the watch?
Yeah.
So we have to be educated because there's a saying that we all know: a fool and his money will soon part. So they'll give us all this money to destroy ourselves, and we'll sit there and hold it up. Yeah, man, you ain't got this, and talk crazy to each other. But it's like, dude, you got the money, but you don't have the wisdom.
And you also making yourself a target. You got all this money, and you back in the neighborhood, like,
come on, man.
Like, it's
That's where
all
all
good.
the Pooh Shiesty masks come from. They got ops and all that stuff.
Yeah, because you're showing out to people who don't have it, and you still want to be in that environment. So the thing is, it's like they look at you like.
Oh, yeah, get that.
That's where the knowledge and wisdom comes in, because I have to have the mindset that, okay, I got this money. Let me figure out how to go back and reinvest in my community, to say, okay, what, now my community doesn't, well, hopefully my community won't look at me in a negative or envious way, because they know that this dude got the money and he brought it back and gave back to the people who are still where he was. And that's what it got to be.
And some people do, but there's just a lot that don't. They just tear the community up further. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They destroy more. They buy more guns, give it to the homeboys, and
Or we have a vengeful, vindictive spirit, like, ain't nobody help me coming up, so I ain't helping y'all. That's another negative.
Nobody gave me nothing.
Yeah, nobody gave me that. I got mine. I gotta get yours. It's like, no. At the same token, you can't impose any personal negative situations you had with a few on the whole. Okay, don't deal with them. But as far as it relates to the whole, make our community a better place to live.
God gave you a gift, and He probably just gave you that gift to lead others out of situations.
We got to ask ourselves why we in the position we in, good or bad. So if you were blessed with the money, if you hit the lottery tomorrow, after you thank God, you need to ask Him, well, why me? Why was I allowed?
Did you do this for me?
Yeah, why was I allowed to do this, or blessed to do this? It's like, what else is it that you need me to do? Not just, okay, I'm gonna go get a yacht, I'm getting a private jet. Okay, that's cool, but
Go stay in the high rise.
you're not getting nothing back, man. You gotta put something back in the ground and let it grow, man.
Oh yeah, you always gotta feed, right?
Yeah.
What do y'all think about Texas? Like, they say, I was watching something yesterday, and it intrigued me because it said Texas will be the most economical state or in America, because we got Canada, we have our own. Texas has, so we have our own resources. It's like we're like our own country. That a lot of the countries are gonna hate us in the United States because we're getting so powerful.
It goes to, show
A lot of the other states.
Yeah.
I mean that's a possibility, but like I said earlier, with a lot of these things that are gonna be lacking real soon, there'll be things that other states have that we don't have, and things we have. It'll be almost like having to do domestic trade as opposed to international trade, because there may be something in Cali that we need and vice versa. So we don't know. I think it's just a matter of just waiting and seeing how this thing plays out.
Yeah, that's definitely
But
gonna
preparing ourselves in the meantime by, like I say, stocking up on necessities that we need.
And there's a lot of people out there. I've seen videos after videos of people stockpiling stuff from years ago. I'm talking about from before COVID. You know what I'm saying?
The doomsday preppers, man. People always thought those people was crazy.
Nah, look at
Those
them.
people are
Look at them now.
geniuses. Yeah,
Already.
because what happens is, and y'all know we live in Texas, so one of the main things that we deal with every year is hurricane season. So every year when the hurricanes start coming and we sit and watch the news, and well, I hope it turns this way, I hope it turns that way, I hope it goes up. But every now and then when it's tracked that it's gonna hit us,
We try to go get the necessities.
everybody try to go get the necessities and run it, and everything's gone. No bread, no water.
That's what happened in COVID with the toilet paper. You remember?
Right.
Everybody was trying to get it.
So the deal is, those instances are actually glimpses, small examples of how it would be on a mass scale. But the difference is, when the hurricane passes, okay, everything's good, open up, they come back in. This go round, and we don't come back in for a while, you know, if ever. So the smart thing to do would be now. Like everybody trying to go get a generator. When go get the generator in the wintertime when you don't need it.
You know, it's cheaper.
It's cheaper. You know, so I would advise everybody to start trying to do that now, you know, to have these things ready, because I don't like being in the store around hurricane time. I like to already have my stuff and watch it on the news and everybody in there, you know, so gas or whatever. Keep your gas tank full and things of that nature, man.
That's what's up, man. It's gonna get bad, but hopefully it gets better. I had a question here from somebody, man, and she said, what's your most memorable, inspirational experience as a rapper?
Man, I have so many. Probably the first time I went overseas and performed. You know, when I went to Finland in 2005, that was my first time ever crossing the water. I ain't never been across the water in my life, you know, and the reception that I got when I got over there, it was like, you know, I was okay for a half a second. I tell people all the time, for a half a second, I knew how Michael Jackson felt. for just a little piece, I was like, okay, Mike. But that's what it was, because we start off in the neighborhood, bro. We start off living in our neighborhoods.
Project.
And we love what we do, but sometimes even if we really believe that we can succeed and make it, or that we will, even when you walk into it, it still kind of take you by surprise. So it's like, man, I'm standing here and all these people from this other country have paid to come see me. They speak English, but English is not their native language.
They know the
They
songs.
know all the words of the songs, and it just messes you up, you know. So that would probably be my greatest experience, just when I travel the world and the reception and the love.
So how many countries have you been to?
Let me see. Finland, Australia, UK, Canada. It's a few, man.
That's awesome,
it's some in between. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I, you know, in the beautiful thing about my career, like I said, being independent, major labels didn't take me to these places. You know, it was the God and the fans. You know, God and the fans. It's like I received paid vacations to travel all around the world doing what I love to do, and everybody can't say that. You know, I've never had to pay for me to go overseas. Somebody paid to bring me there, and then paid me for what I was gonna do when I get there. I ain't got no complaints.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's a feat, really.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially not signed to a major
Nah,
label.
never.
Man.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, man.
Definite
blessing.
But it's also an example for those who had this feeling like, that's the only way I can make it. I got to go through the majors. I got to be on Universal or Warner. No, you don't. You just got to make good music, push yourself, believe in what you're doing, and get yourself out there. But it starts with the art. It starts with making good music, man, because, you know, good music is gonna grow. It's like wildfire, man. It's gonna spread.
Right.
You know, and you find the audience that will love you. It's all different types of rap, like you was talking about, but what you do, somebody gonna say, oh man, I rock with A1 Empire. That's my guy. That's my people. So it depends, man. You gotta find your audience.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, like, you know, music, good music, your studio session, what's your essentials like? What do you have to have there for you to get it?
Bro, I'm so plain Jane, it ain't even
Really?
all I need is
a glass of
the
water.
song, the beat, and the mic. That's it. That's all.
Man.
You know, cause like I say again, you know, we from the mud, so we don't come in. I ain't gonna come in and okay.
Need the Cavassier.
Okay, I'm coming. I'm on my way to the studio to drop the track. Hey man, I need a bowl of blue M&Ms. And on the right, I need a bowl of green M&Ms. Do not mix them together, bro.
Somebody told me that.
Yeah.
A comedian we had, I asked him the same thing. I said, what do you need? He said, I need some green M&Ms and some blue ones, but in a separate bowl. He said the same thing.
Man, I just made that up. That's crazy.
He just said that to me.
I had no
That
idea.
must be a thing. I
Yeah.
know.
He said, but he said something different. He said, I need Mariah Carey in the background singing. I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah. But you know that he might have been joking, because that's what Mariah Carey had. She was requesting the M&M stuff. But the thing is, nah, man, you know, when you come in, when you first get started, you coming in raw, doing it for the love, you wouldn't asking for all that extra stuff then.
Yeah.
So now if you kind of get a name, kind of get a little action, you got a little wind under your wings, well, all of a sudden now I need, nah, man, I like to stay within the essence. I think my main thing that I would say if I required anything, as far as my own sessions, or solitude, I don't like a lot of people in the lab. Everybody, that when I do my albums, if whoever I'm working with, whether it be my brother or back in the day, Sniper, and different people, whoever it is, it's not gonna be no 99 people in the studio with me. I don't like a bunch of people around when I'm recording.
Right. That's what's up, man. So like this question is like, it's kind of, I like to ask people this because, it's just to see where they're at. You know what I mean? So like, if you wasn't rapping, what would you be doing?
Man, I asked that question a lot on my podcast, bro. But I never thought about it for myself. The honest answer is, man, I really don't know, bro.
Nah.
Because I've been doing this since I was 13 years old,
Wow.
and I've had the amount of actual real jobs I've had in my life. You can count them on one hand, and they have not many of them have even lasted long enough to even really count. I worked at Astroworld for one day and I quit. I left that lady stuck out, boy. That lady said, look, it was slow all day. She said, look, when Astroworld closes, it's gonna be a big rush when they on the way out. So I'm like, I ain't been slow all day, man. That lady was right, boy. She was a prophet. Man, them people came rolling up in there, man. I said, no, I can't do that. I was just never built to work for nobody, man. So to be honest with you, man, if I wasn't doing music, I don't know what I would do.
You'd be doing music.
Yeah, maybe I would be involved in it in some kind of way.
Yeah.
But at this stage, nothing makes you feel better than being your own boss and making your own hours. It's like I get up when I want to get up. You know what I'm saying? I'm more active now than I was in my younger days. I'm a little smarter in the business side than I was, even though I still got a long way to go to learn on that. But I wouldn't trade it, bro.
Yeah. And you're one of the most humble guys I've ever met, and you're not real. Most guys are conceited when they rap. I dealt with one for a year. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? He was whoa. You know what I mean? But
if you could describe your style in 3 words, how would you describe it?
Man, I would say just lyrical reality rap. That would be the 3 words, just lyrical reality rap, because I'm a lyricist first and foremost at heart, but I still have to make sure that I relay the realism in the music and incorporate and teach at the same time, and that's our obligation. Once you know, you got to teach it. So yeah, that would probably be my quick description without having time to really think about it.
I could see you being like a professor at
teaching rap music.
Man, no, it's crazy you said that, D, because shout out to Dr. Penn at Rice University. I just participated in a class that he has at Rice University. Now, for those who might not know, Bun B was teaching a course over there for a while at Rice, for a good little while, and the same brother who was instrumental in getting Bun over there, he invites different rappers to come out and speak to his class. And I just did his class about 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, it was something that kind of, lit something like, okay, I can see myself maybe doing that, just teaching what you know. You teach what you know, you don't have to really study it too much. You just off the dome. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would want to take that on full time, but I can see myself doing it.
Getting into it here and there.
Yeah.
No teaching on the weekend or something.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, 40 years doing this, you got so much to teach, just off of just living. It's so much that I was like, man, y'all just don't understand. And it comes out in regular conversation. Like, y'all know, if somebody come to you, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how long. I'm asking how long you've been in it. And I'm asking you that now, how long have you been in the game?
What, the rap?
The business, music.
The music, probably about 3 or 4 years.
Okay, you.
Same.
Okay, so in three or 4 years of experience, that's something that somebody that just starting can come to either one of y'all, and y'all can say, well, nah, hold on, man. When I first started, I had to learn, I bumped my head here, or I just figured this out last month. Everybody got something to contribute, you know, to this game for somebody that's coming up. Or it could be something that y'all, even in a short time, have picked up on that somebody like me that's been doing it forever don't know. So we all have the capacity to teach each other.
We can learn every day.
Yeah, nobody's better than nobody else. I don't care how long you've been doing it, because a lot of these cats been doing it a long time, and they stuck in the past so far that they can't come to the modern time and learn nothing new that's gonna make their situation better. So,
And that's what they need to do. A lot of people do, but move on up. You got a level, you know what I'm saying? It's level 2.
you gotta humble yourself, like you was talking about artists being conceited and all that. It's cool to be conceited on your songs. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about I'm the coldest MC and all. That's cool, that's fine. But once that mic is moved out the way, you have to humble yourself before every man, woman, and child, because you don't know everything. You know, the smartest man in the world is the man who knows he's not the smartest man in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna listen to this 17-year-old social media artist that's doing this thing on a level that I don't understand. I'm saying, well, maybe I can pull something from him. You know, so we gotta humble ourselves in that.
This is one of the reasons why I started doing this, was because I've been through, you know what I'm saying, I've been through the street life. I done fought these murder cases. I've been shot 13 times. I died twice. So the stuff that I've been through, I don't want to be known for that. I want to be known for. They said, well, I know he come from, he been through a lot, but where he's at now, it's you know what I'm saying, he's in a positive light, you know.
Hey, you want to always give the best.
I want to show
and
people,
Dion
I want to show people like in my neighborhood, like if I could do it, you could do it.
Yeah.
Even though I had setbacks, you don't have that. You could go further than me. You could go farther.
And that's what we started for, trying to get better.
And it's just like the example we was talking about. If you won the lottery tomorrow, you would ask God, like, man, why was I given this blessing? Why was I allowed to do that? The stuff you went through in your life, I know you asked God, man, why'd you let me live through this? Why'd you let me, through all the stuff I've been through, I'm still here, I'm not crippled. I'm not in a coma or brain dead, somebody got a
missing a leg.
Yeah, you're still vertical and upright and with your faculties. What is it that you want me to do? God, what did you want me to do? So your life is now, like they say in the church, it's a testimony, you know, and because you can say something to somebody possibly that will stop them from having to go through what you went through. So I mean, at the end of the day, man, you know, that's a blessing. It's not always about our experiences in our field and the music. It's about life, because life is, you know, I can stop doing music whenever I want to, you know, but life goes on unless I choose to stop that. But most people are not gonna do that. So everybody valuable, man. Everybody got something.
I have a crazy story. It's somebody on my Facebook. I'm not gonna say their name. They're my friend on Facebook. I never met them in life at all. I spoke to them through comments and likes and stuff like that. A year and a half ago, the guy calls me on Messenger. It was about 1 a.m. I'm already in bed, and he calls me, and my wife's like, "Who's that?" I said, "Man, it's some guy on social media." Well, he's on the social media we're talking through Messenger, and he's got the gun, so he said, "I'm gonna kill myself." And out of all people, he called me.
Right.
Wow.
And I'm like, we're just trying to figure out what's going on. So we talked and we talked and we talked. He threatened to 1. We talked from 1 in the morning probably to about 8 in the morning. Just me convincing. I got so tired trying to convince him to I said, "Man, if you don't shoot yourself when I see you, I'm gonna kill you." So he started laughing. "Man, you crazy?" They made him put the gun down, and we just talked. And my wife was like, "What about our people?" He called you. I said, "Shit, I don't know. I'm the wrong person to give advice to." You know what I'm saying?
No, but you're the right
No,
person.
clearly you wasn't.
Yeah.
But anyway, we talked it, and I made him laugh, and he's a good friend on my social media. Came to a few of my shows and supported, man, and it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy.
We don't know why God leads certain people to us. And he saw something in you, because here's the deal. If a person wants to commit suicide, they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna contact, they're not gonna call somebody and say, "Hey," especially a stranger, and just say, "Hey man, by the way, I got this gun in my head. I'm getting ready to do this." You're not gonna announce it. So it was clearly something else that he was reaching for, And thank God that you was the one that he saw it in. Because some people don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. Now some will do it, but they want you to show them a reason why they shouldn't. And whatever you said was good enough for them to say, okay, now man, you know what? It's more to it. It's more to it. So now that's a blessing.
Yeah, and that person ended up becoming a media person, you know.
Right. So and peep this. What if you wasn't the kind of dude you was? And you say, man, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Don't be calling me. Hey man, bro, hey man, you got to figure it out, man. I'm gonna pray for you, bro. Click, boom. You never know.
Yeah.
So to have heart for a person you didn't even know, bro, you know, then that's a blessing for that person, but it's a blessing for you as well, man. So nah, that's commendable, fam.
We're gonna take a little 5-minute break, man, and we'll get right back with this interview. So give us a second.
We'll be right back.
All right.
My bad, I really didn't need to stop it, but something was going on right
Yeah.
here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's all good.
Yeah, there's some water right there if you need it.
We got some candy, some
No, I don't need no candy. That's the last thing I need. Yeah. Now they got no shows coming up.
yeah, we always invite you. You know what? I'm not even gonna lie. Ever since my mom passed,
Oh,
I kind of like I've been turning down shows.
Took a
Right?
step back.
I do the ones that
that you gotta do.
I have to
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
you know, like you know.
Yeah. Nah, you gotta step back in time, man. You know, for your own personal, mental stability. Not that you're going crazy, just that I gotta chill out, man. I gotta process.
I really was
my loss.
gonna quit the whole music business.
Yeah.
Doing that podcast radio. I don't like doing radio. I don't like doing I don't like
Yeah.
doing. I don't know why. I don't like doing it.
Yeah.
I don't like doing interviews, taking really pictures. And
Right,
it just, I'm in this field, and I get people always tell me, "Nah, you're good at it, man." And I get booked for a lot of stuff. And my mom, she was my #1 fan.
Right.
She would always tune in. When you gonna do a podcast? When you gonna do radio? So she was always on there, on there. And now that she's gone, I'm like, man, I don't got no reason to do it no more. You know?
Well, but I would agree not disagree with that, because if you say your mom was your #1 fan, I know she wouldn't want you to stop.
Yeah, I know.
See, so that alone would be enough. You get discouraged, like, man, my mama gone. But she wouldn't want you to stop doing it if she enjoyed what you was doing. If she could tell you, she'd like, man, what you mean stop for what? You know, keep going. You know what I'm saying? Do this, keep doing what you're doing. You know?
Because when she was alive, I used to tell her, man, I feel like quit.
Exactly.
Man, all the bad, you ain't quit all the bad shit you used to do, selling drugs,
you
and
know
doing
what I'm
that.
Good point, mama.
You ain't quit all that, but you gonna quit something.
Great point, mama.
You gonna quit something that, you know, you inspired and doing great, man. And
She already gave you an answer before she left. When y'all had that conversation, like, no, don't stop doing it, you know. And like I say, like, we don't never know who we helping. You know, like, I've been doing my podcast for like 2 years from now. 2 years now. And what happens is you have your ups and downs with it, man. Like say, you don't feel like doing it, but man, you don't know who is helping. You'll get a message or something out the blue and say, man, that episode y'all did about such and such. It's like, okay, that's my validation. So, you know.
All right, we're gonna run it back up. I think what happened was that I don't know if the deal stopped, but something stopped. So
it's on the radio?
Yeah, so I just stopped it so we can go back on. All right, you ready? All right, man. Thanks a lot for waiting for us. We're back with K Reno, live at the Wrap It Up Radio, powered by Spread the Brand. Thanks to Lafayette Taylor. We were still talking to K Reno, man, about life, you know, music, you know, just a lot of things, man. And you know, we're just here trying to have a good time, teach people, right?
No doubt.
So, let me ask you a question. What on your playlist right now? What do you have? What's on your playlist, man?
Old school everything.
Old school, easy.
Old school rap. Yeah, I rock with some easy now.
Yeah.
Old school rap, old school R&B, whatever it is, it's old school. I probably hardly don't ever listen to anything after 1995 or something. You know,
Yeah.
I'm draped in the old school, man.
And how do you feel about this music, like right now, like
I
the
mean,
YNs and all that?
yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not a fan of any content that's causing us to kill each other or
Right.
causing us to damage each other as far as drugs and all that type of stuff, or division between the genders and the cultures and the races and all that. I'm not into that, and that's unfortunately what a lot of these labels push. But when you talk about talent-wise, skill-wise, creativity-wise, these young artists, man, they on levels that a lot of the old school artists was never on. So I'm rooting for them in that regard. I want them to win. I just want them to understand that it's a system in place, it's an agenda in place to make them destroy each other through the music. They weaponized our art form and turned it into something that we use against ourselves to destroy each other. Like you said, with the ops and all that different stuff, man, and YNs. It's like, no, man, understand your godhood. Forget being a YN, you know, understand your godhood and utilize that. And if the labels don't like it, then move around from it. You know, you are the product. You are the asset. They only slide the platform under you to allow you to be seen and heard everywhere, but you the talent, they not the talent. You know, save your people with the beat, don't kill your people with the beat.
Right. And that happens a lot, especially with these young guys, man. They don't care, man.
But they don't know. A lot of them, they just don't know. We gotta teach
They're
them.
misled, really.
Yeah, they're misled. We gotta teach them now.
It's
Once
like-
you teach them and they still go that way, that's on them. Yeah.
But you know, back in the day, you always looked up to the OG, you know what I'm saying? And he taught you, hey, this is what it is about the street, or this is what it is about the music, or dope selling, whatever it was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You always looked up to that person, and I don't think there's none of those no more.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Well, it is. It's just the fact that some of the OGs have given up. Like, man, you can't tell them nothing, man. You know, and some of them have either passed on or they've sold out. They've graduated into levels and like, man, that's beneath me now. You know, but now it's like it's still a lot of brothers out here. Still a lot of people that's making music that can teach and educate this generation. So I mean, we got to bridge that gap because the old people don't respect the young people don't respect the old people, and now it's this big gulf in between where we feel like we separate, when in reality it's like, man, y'all fell for the trap. That's exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to turn, as it say in the Bible, they would turn the hearts of the fathers against the children and turn the children's hearts against the fathers. So we gotta fix that, man.
That's true, because I grew up in an era where if you was outside playing and you was doing something wrong, being disrespectful or anything, your neighbor will whoop you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And your way the neighbor will whoop you, and you go home and you gonna get another whoop.
Yeah.
Right. But see, nowadays, the parent can't even whoop their own child. They have made it so that, like you said, where the neighbors, where the community help to raise, and I don't mean no abuse whooping, I mean like, whatever, but they made it now to where the parent don't even have control and power to discipline their own children, and they empowered the children through ignorance to say, well, if you hit me, I'm gonna call this number, I'm gonna contact CPS, and the child don't even know, okay, well, yeah, you think you get a lick back on your mama and your daddy, but they will come and snatch you out their home, and your whole life gonna change for the worse. So education is the key, and I ain't talking about no college education. Now that's cool
No,
if you do that. I'm talking about life.
Every day,
Yeah.
every day. What's gonna happen to you if you don't? You know
No
what I
doubt
mean?
about it, and not being afraid. You know, there's a lot of grown folks that scared of their own children, man. You know, there's a lot of grown people that scared of the children in the community, but a lot of people.
There's a lot of these grown folks that baby them too much.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know what I mean?
No doubt.
They just don't discipline.
Yeah.
Not the right way. They try to discipline with
Well,
other
some
situations.
parents don't even have the knowledge because the mindset is naturally should be that you want your child to have a better life than you did, just like your parents wanted you to have a better life than they did. But everything has to be done in the proper context. That doesn't mean that you can't or shouldn't discipline your child or correct them when they're wrong. You know, you can't just spoil a child rotten and just give him everything. And now he goes out into the world with entitlement. He goes out into the world with no life skills, no survival skills to know how to even fend for himself if something happened to the parent. So we got to just get back to how it need to be, and even how it was wasn't perfect, but like D said, it was better.
Yeah.
You know, because we wouldn't even, you ain't finna even cuss around grown folks you didn't know. Now, man, this is
When kids will cuss you out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I seen no kid cuss my girl out a few months ago. I'm talking about a little kid.
Oh man, I went to the neighborhood in Magnolia where the tattoo shop was at, and there was two guys, a little boy and a dad riding a bike, down the street. And the dad shot me the finger, and then the little boy did. I was like,
it's learned behavior, you know. So the
Come
thing
on,
is, that's why the empowerment it comes from the parents a lot of times. So the parents, you see, I did a video one time. I was talking about how people will let their children come to your house and tear your stuff up. So I come to your house, hey, come and watch the game. I come to my house. I got my little 4-year-old son. He running through your house, tearing stuff up, and I ain't saying nothing.
Yeah.
You know, you like, hey man, get your son.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so you think it's cute? Nah, man, you take that back to your house. So it's a lot of things that we got to tighten up on in terms of that discipline, man, and that level.
Get back straight.
Yeah, no question.
Well, is there anything coming up that you're gonna be at, the concerts or?
Yeah, man,
venues?
May 3rd, we got a thing going on. That's this Saturday. We'll be at the Suits and Slabs event. It's 13310 Cullen. The event goes from 6 p.m. to midnight. I'm not sure what time I'll be hitting the stage, but I'll definitely be a part of that. And of course, we got the Underground Dialogue podcast every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. on YouTube.
Oh, y'all tap into that for sure.
Yeah, no
We
doubt.
can come up there, man.
Yeah, you definitely see K Reno all the time. Yeah, you get to know him.
Look, D knows that. See, and that's another problem that I have is like a lot of these platforms, they're so exclusive. It's like, okay, you gotta do this or do that. You gotta be able to win gold or platinum. And like, nah, man, good people having good conversations, man. Let's open our doors and do that because it's something that this total stranger can bring to the table that the millionaire big time rapper don't, because he's still functioning in a level of ignorance in certain levels. So every Wednesday at 9 p.m. y'all tune into that, and some other stuff I'm forgetting. Follow me on Instagram, The Real K Reno #1. Subscribe to my other YouTube channel, which is The Real K Reno, and that's about it, man.
And that's why we do this too. I try to. That's why I go so hard. Even when I was at 611 Jams, my thing was I try to mix it up to where I don't have Flip, I don't have you, I don't have Flip Wolf. I don't had a lot of these people. You know what I'm saying, Trey and them, Zero with the interview, right? And I bring these other artists that people don't know to mix it in just to give them a bigger audience or more, saying. And that's the reason why I do what I do. That's my strategy. Like right now, we got you. We have Youngstar. We have Gorilla Zoe. We're trying to build it up so when we bring these other artists that'll have that status, we want them to feel like you can.
Where can they go?
Yeah.
Where can they go? It's like they have to watch nothing but artists with names all the time, and in their mind, they're like, man, well, how can I get a name if nobody with a platform wants to put me on because I don't have a name? So we got to be the ones that fill that void and open that door for them.
That's what's up. That's good, man. It was nice talking with you.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thanks for coming out, for real,
Anytime.
man. We gangster gonna try to get to Cullen this Saturday.
That's Victor Bellows. Slabs.
That's right.
Craig
That's
G's
right.
gonna be there.
That's
Probably
right.
when he died. Him,
It's gonna be a nice roster, man.
All the slabs are gonna be there.
All the slabs.
Yeah.
Shout out to Victor Bellows.
I won't be wearing a suit though.
Hey man, we'll catch y'all next Thursday. We got Youngstar. You know who that is, man. He's a legend in the game too, man. And August 30th, we're gonna have
Gorilla Zoe.
Gorilla Zoe, man. We thank you, man, for coming out, man. We appreciate you,
Thank
bro.
y'all for having me.
It's always love.
Guys, man.
Always
Always, man. Respect. Salute.
Yes, sir. Take that candy with you, man.
What's so messed up? I got cookies at the house. I don't even eat them.
You ain't supposed to be eating candy?
I just try to do right, man. I try to fall back on that stuff, cause them Jolly Ranchers, boy, I eat 978 of them. I eat 979 of them Jolly
Oh, yeah?
Ranchers. If y'all don't stop.
Yeah, it's better for the Skittles and stuff like that. The
Oh.
chocolate, you know.
Yeah, all that stuff is bad, man. I just, we all got vices.
We'll take some couple of pictures before we run,
Yeah,
man.
no doubt. That's cool, this spot, man. It's dope. It's dope.
Yeah, Rappernomics was right around the.
I remember. Okay.